just a good old boy.
Hey y'all, figured I'd give y'all an update on what all we got going on with this white truck right now. It's in pieces. So far, well, we got that thing tied down with wire, and I don't want to open it up here. We've gotten the front end tore off. Before I get to that, we got the front end tore off. All the fenders, the radiators out, just everything that needs to be replaced, except for the hood. We left it on it because it's sitting outside. I've got to move it into the shed. I hadn't done that yet because what I was about to show y'all is the head gasket's leaking, and we didn't know it. So we've got to pull it. This is not crash related or anything, so we've got to pull the head off this thing now and put a head gasket in it, which better do it now than wait. It's got a leak, and then the front and rear main on these 24 valves always leaks on these trucks for some reason. So while we're just going to pull the whole engine out and put new seals in the front and rear on it and have that fixed while we're at it. I don't know why, but all the 24 valves are notorious for front and rear main seal leaks. The 6.7s Cummins were not as bad. The 12 valves weren't as bad, but the 24 valves, I don't know what it is about them. They just have a slow leak. I mean, they don't use any oil really, but they'll always just stay kind of messy right around in there. For whatever reason, you can run them for 1,000,000 miles like that, and I don't know why they do it, but they do it. That's one of the things with the 24 valve Cummins, few things that they ever had issues with. So everybody was talking about the front suspension, or a few people were. What happened is the spindles are bent right here on those. All the tie rods and everything like that's okay. But we've got another Gen 2. Now, this truck is kind of funny. This is our cousin's truck. It's his old one. It's got 500,000 miles on it, nearly. He's parked it, wore out. He got him a new truck, wrecked it, and then he went and got another newer trucks, the new body style that's out currently. And then this is his old one. This is actually a 12 valve Cummins. It's been parked for a long time, and we had a truck identical to this one before we had the red one. It's a 94, and we're going to use the parts off of it, the fenders and everything that we need to go on this truck. Now we're going to have to get it repainted, obviously, but we'll just be able to transfer everything from here to here. And we're planning on this one's bumper needs new plastic and everything, but we're not putting using that bumper. We're going to be getting probably a wrench hand or something to go back on the front of this truck. It's kind of what me and my grandpa was talking about doing with this one. All right, so what we've got, I'm trying to do today is, well, while I have it on my mind, I want to talk about this thing. This is my drill press. Black Bull. Do not buy one of their drills. Whatever you do, do not buy one of these. Don't buy one. Junk. And it ain't that it's a bad drill or anything, but if something happens to that thing, you are pretty well crap out of luck, and it's throw away and go buy another one. Because this particular company, now the other companies, Rigid, different companies like that sells these things, all Craftsman, all sell parts for these, and you can look them up and get the parts for them. This company here, right here, does not. I called that company. What happened was, is the piece that holds the table on that you push down, play your steel across to push down on, that's right here. It has a little crank, and it works off of this tooth piece here. You spin it up, and it'll go up and down the shaft and adjust to the height you need. The collar that goes around is cast, and it broke. So I called the company looking for this part. They tell me, well, they discontinued the parts for that particular machine. This thing's 2 years old. 2 years old. 2 or 3. It's at most 3 years old. They told me that, oh, well, we discontinued that line of parts. We don't sell those anymore. You might try these aftermarket companies. So I go and I look up these aftermarket companies. They give me these websites, everything. Multiple websites. I call all of them. I look on the websites looking for the parts. None of them carry anything for this company, period. The places they told me to look said that they don't carry any of the parts for those machines. So, and didn't have anything that would cross over from another one that would work. So what I did is I called them back and I said, hey, look, I've called all these people you told me to call. Every one of them's telling me that they don't even sell parts for y'all stuff. Oh, yeah, here's 2 more. That's really all I know to tell you or to do. And I was like, well, they still sell, well, they first told me they didn't sell any 16 speeds anymore, with the speed that this particular unit is. And I told her, I said, well, I was just over at Lowe's and Home Depot, and y'all have y'all's product in their store at Home Depot, and it looks identical to the machine that I have. Oh, well, that's this serial number, and I said, well, the pieces that for the part I need look identical. Can you not just send me one from the newer model? I said, it looks completely identical to exactly what I've got. I think it'll work. I'll take a chance on it and see if it does. Don't give me no specs or nothing or tell me that. And they said, well, on those we actually don't have them. And I said, what do you mean you don't have them? And I said, what do you mean you don't have them? And they said, what was it she told me? She said, oh, well, I said, so you're telling me that if I go and buy one of these tomorrow, brand new from Home Depot, the one sitting at Home Depot, that's brand new, that's your new model that y'all have out right now. I said, you're telling me that I can't get any of these parts for this thing? Well, worst case scenario, while the warranty's on, we'll just pull a part off of an existing unit here in the here in the warehouse to go on it. They don't even stock the parts for these things, y'all. They're pulling parts off of off of these things in their warehouse to send to you if something breaks right after you buy these things while the warranty's on, the little short warranty that they give you. And after that, if anything breaks on it, you're done. Do not buy a Black Bull, period. Don't buy one. Look at a different brand. Don't buy one of them things. It's been a great drill, but that part broke. So I took it to the machinist that we use, and he's going to try to machine me one out of steel and make me one to go on there that'll just slide up and down. I don't have time to fool with it. That truck out there, most of that I'm not doing. I have done a little bit to it, but I'm not going to do really anything to that thing. I just don't have the time. There's my wife calling again. Good grief. It's warm outside. I ain't got a coat on. It's like 60-something degrees today in February. That means that I think we're going to have a short winter. And I'm going to need to be spraying very quickly. This is going to be one of those years I think I'm going to start spraying at the 1st of March or the end of February. And I've also got soil tests that'll pull that I haven't got to. So what I have gotten done with the booms. Now, the other day I went to cutting and I kept cutting with my new saw, my Bear saw I got over there somewhere. I've got this set up. Now this is what I've planned on. I'm going to take this channel iron right here and I'm going to weld it. This is the same size channel iron that's on this frame. I'm going to cut all this off down to the frame and I'm going to weld this piece right across here. Then from there, these legs are going to fit right inside of here, right there, that are going to go up. And then that'll be the inner frame. And there'll be a hydraulic cylinder right here attached to here, and then back down to the channel to push this thing up and down to control my ground height. Now, They'll slide. This is receiver hitch tubing, square tubing. They'll slide up and down. I'm gonna drill out grease fittings as soon as I get my drill fixed. Holes for grease fittings in all these pieces, including the hinge pieces. So that way I can grease this thing as it goes up and down. Now there's another piece there I ain't cut yet that's gonna go across the top, but I'm gonna wait and do that after I get everything put on the sprayer ready to weld on and go. That way I can set each piece off individually and just put it on as I go. Then this pipe was what I was going to use for the tubing for the hinges, but I felt like it was a little light, so I've actually got this stuff now with this pin. We're using this pin and that, or this pipe and that pin, either one, it don't matter. This is what I'm going to actually use, this pipe and this pin, which this one's already cut to fit. I've got more of it. There's one already cut to fit over there, laid out on the ground, that I was figuring out for the hinges. That's going to be the hinges to fold the booms forward right there. I'm going to mount hydraulic cylinders on those to fold the boom in. Now there's going to be a break in the booms that is going to fold back like I showed y'all the other day. That's what we're going to be working on today, is laying out these booms the way I want them and cutting the pieces off of them. I'm trying to get everything to where when I weld, I'm ready to weld it all and just zip it together and start putting it on. And then I'm going to use cables and springs for the fold out on the others. I got to design that. I have talked and talked and talked. Let's get to work. All right. Nobody got a hot rod Duramax. All right, so this is my bottom piece. This is going to be a square piece, and this is the piece coming down. So that's what the length of the boom will be. But there's going to be a fold, probably right here, somewhere in there. Let's see, how long does this thing need to be? Let's see here, 8 footers. I figure I'll do 8 feet, and it long, and then 4 foot fold backs. That way it's not too bad. In length, so that's going to put me right about here on the fold back, and then I'll have to marry back to fold this thing. And he's going to want that dang truck, man, crap. I'm going to mark out 8 foot on this thing is where I'm going to put the fold. That's going to be right there. And here's the thing. That's got to be square, but I ain't cutting it now. I'm going to cut that after I weld everything up. Here, everything fixed the way it needs to be. Then I'll cut and chop it. Now this is going to have to be put on a different angle. Here, I can't just measure 8 out here and weld it, because if I do, when I pin it, it's going to drop it down at an angle. So I've got to take a square and line it up across here and then mark it to this one, which this one should be back this way just a little bit compared to the bottom. And that way it'll put it at a straight angle, so that way when I weld my hinge in there, it'll continue to be straight. Alright y'all, so what I've decided to do is just lay this thing out in here and go ahead and weld these booms together, the outer frame part of it, so then I can just get my angles off of it accurately before I cut the steel. Because in there on that asphalt millings and stuff on the ground, the steel's laying crooked and I can't get an exact measurement, but once I get it welded together, it'll be what it'll be, and then we'll just cut the pieces and know that they're going to fit. So I got a MIG welder. This was my grandfather's welder that passed away. Well, he passed away before I was born. This thing is, I think it's around the 80s. an 80s model. Could possibly even be a late 70s, but I would say it's a mid to late 80s. He did have an older stick welder, and he just bought this thing, I think, not long before he passed away. He died of cancer, but before I was ever born. So I've got it now, and it's been a good one. I really like it. I mean, for the age it is, the Beta MiG 200 Hobart. It's been a real good welder. But we're going to lay this thing out, and I've got my magnets out here to make things easier. They also act as squares. Actually, that needs to be like that. And I'm just going to even everything up. And let's see, it should be at a 90-degree angle. When that's like that, so that's going to be a 90-degree there. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and weld that one straight, so then I know it can't move before I mess with that top one. That's a little bit off there. It needs to be set just like that. It's not cut exactly square on the end. So yeah, I'm going to weld that bottom one first, so that way that it can't move. Then I'll set that top one off of it, because this one's going to be my straight rod up across, and that one's going to be the angled one. So let's get started. We'll throw a little bead of weld on that right quick to hold it. Keep that thing from moving now. Now all I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna bump it up and get that, and we'll pull the end down. Get these ends straight. That's all we gotta do is weld her up. Weld this in yet. I'll have to wait till I get done welding this, because the cord on the welder ain't long enough. I'll just spin it around. I'm gonna go ahead and weld it up. That is exactly how I want it, and then I can move it without having to worry about it getting bent or anything. Which it shouldn't move with those welds. We'll go ahead and weld her on up. also probably going to plate those, cap them. I'll take flat steel plate and lay over that to there and weld all them down it to add extra support besides just that. But I'll wait and do that when I weld the hinges on. Right now I just want to get it to where it'll stay together. And I can take it up there and cut all my braces to go in the center in here. But that's welding it together. Here's the end weld. Got it together. I'll clean them up a little bit more, do a little bit more to them, probably plate them on that end. On each end I'll wrap plate around it, cap in, and put one on this side and one on that side, and do the same down here to add extra strength to this thing, because I don't want to deal with cracking welds, breaking booms anymore. These things are going to be heavy, so I mean there's going to be a lot of stress there just because they are heavy. So I'm going to have to make sure I do it right when I go back together. But that's why I went with heavier steel, because I don't want to deal with thin steel breaking and cracking over time. I want something that's going to last forever once I get done with it and actually hold up. So I'm building everything extremely heavy. So let's go up the shop. We're going to start working on cutting some of those pieces to go in this thing. Alright, so what I'm doing now is, instead of doing the bracing, I'm just going to go ahead and cut these. And that way I can get the hinges put in, or go ahead and weld the pieces of crossways that I need on these while I'm at it. I'm going to take my bandsaw I got from Harbor Freight. This thing works pretty dang good. I don't know how long it'll last, but so far I've been very pleased with it. Now, I bought a lot of tools from Harbor Freight. All been pretty good. I mean, I've had a few things I've gotten that wasn't too good, didn't last that long. But for the most part, most of it hadn't really been all that bad. Had pretty good luck with it for the price it is. But what I'm going to do is, I've done marked this. I put a square on it, got the right angle. These are at 8 feet, like I marked them the other day, or yesterday. And I'm going to cut it right here and right there, and then we'll take 2 of these square tubing pieces here, cap on each end of it, and weld them on, and then I'll split it up into a 8-foot and a 4-foot section. So let's get started cutting. I got it toted down here back to this shop. Now I gotta be nice to have my welder in my shop, but I don't have a heavy enough wire going to the shop to run my welder out there, or it would be out there. I've always hated this because I've had to tote everything I weld down here and then tote everything back up there where I gotta cut everything and work, and it's just aggravating. But so this is going to be the bottom of this boom, so we need to set this piece to that. This one spread apart a little bit as I was toting it, which is fine, but we're just going to push it back together once I get the bottom set, because I know it doesn't change. The top's the one that changes, so let's throw some weld on this thing. I've got planned on this other piece is this. I think y'all can probably see it. See, with these hinges, this thing's got to fold all the way back into itself. And try and think which way this thing needs to be in order to work right. So this is the bottom. That really needs to be flipped. So it should be good the way it is, because this is the bottom. Okay. The reason why I'm putting that piece like that instead of to the end is because in order to get this thing to fold back flat against these booms once they're hung, is because if you put this here and put a hinge here, it's only going to fold to about here and won't never fold all the way back flat on these. Now those hinges out there are different because I'm only going at a 90 instead of all the way back. So I've got to weld this on this end and then put a hinge right here, so that way when this thing folds out it can be straight, or when it folds in it can be all the way back, all the way again these booms. So that's why I'm doing that. I don't think no longer than that is. It's only 4 foot and it's not very heavy. I think that'll be just fine as long as I weld it up fine just like it is, and I won't have to put anything here on the end. I mean, there's really no need other than maybe just to cap that steel off on them tubes, but we may, I don't know. I just have to see what I want to do here when I get done with it, but for now I'm just going to weld it up like that. My battery's about to die, but there it is. That's it, what it'll look like folded up. When it's on the sprayer and mounted back here forward, that's how it'll fold back. It'll look just like that. So I ain't gonna bore y'all making the slats to go in it, the braces and everything. I'll do them and get it all welded up, and then I gotta do a whole nother one. So hopefully next time we'll be welding the frame that goes on the back of the sprayer up and doing that part instead of working on these booms. But that's them. All I gotta do is put some braces in. So there'll be just a piece of pipe here with a pin through it right there, and it'll fold right back around. And this part here will actually protrude over here just a little bit, and I'll make a stop to go right there so it'll bump up against it. And these will be cable and spring. I'm probably going to use cables and springs to do these. I may put a big spring on it when it's folded up to pull it back out and around, or I may use a cable and then do a spring to hold it in. I haven't made up my mind yet with pulleys, so that's how they'll fold and unfold themselves on these. Now though, out here it'll be hydraulically driven. So thank y'all for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.